coming up is a real treat because you will all know Shiniwa. She was she was the noisettes really. She wrote the songs, she performed, she was the front person, and she's had to go through quite a lot of hassle. It's difficult being in the music industry, it's difficult being a woman in the industry, and it's difficult being the front person of a band in the industry. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a short Q&A, and Shingy's going to tell you about her story so far, and then she's going to be doing some songs. So I'm really pleased that interviewing her is Anna Hildersdottir, who's from Iceland, which is obviously the coolest place in the world. Anna has been involved in lots of festivals herself, and is a manager and involved in labels, and a really strong spokeswoman for women in the industry, and a real networker. So it's a double honour to be able to introduce to the stage Anna. And the most cool, the most amazing, the most sensational talent in the music industry, Shingai Shiniwa.
So hi Shingai.
How are you doing, Anna?
Very well.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming all the way from London. We actually had another gig today.
Yeah, we just drove in. I was at a really fantastic panel today as well, a kind of conference called Shades of Beauty, and it was about all the wonderful aspects and work that can still be done in diversity in the music, fashion and beauty industry. So, yeah.
And a topic that you know a lot about, diversity, is something that you made very much a topic of your latest release, your new EP, Ancient Futures. We'll go more into that a little bit later, but never forget, a big hit with noisettes. Who remembers noisettes?
What you drinking? We'll find out later, I suppose.
Exactly.
After the gig.
But I mean, this was all back in 2003, touring with Baby Shambles, TV on radio, Muse, Lady Gaga, all the big stars. You were kind of on the way up there. And then for some few years we haven't heard that much from you. What happened?
Well, we've been very, very, very busy. I think really we kind of really got started and getting noticed probably like more the late 2000s. So we had a debut record called What's the Time, Mr. Wolf in 2007, which was just a beautiful spectrum of like punk, rock and roll, soul, jazz, and lots of music that we love. And then we had an awesome album which many people continue to enjoy today after that, called Wild Young Hearts. Wild Young Hearts? Damn those Wild Young Hearts. Damn these Wild Young Hearts. And then we had another album called Contact. And so really, I guess you could say that, it takes a long time to not just create a record, and to get, all of the support to finance that record from the label, to do all the creative stuff. You've then got to, live with that record and tour it and take it to the world. So I think, having 3 albums out in sort of 10 years is a massive feat. And that not many bands get to enjoy. A lot of bands don't get to put out more than 1 album. So I'm really proud of the work that we've achieved in, over the last decade or so. And I've also done lots of other collaborations. Hey Hey, which is a big house track that I think a lot of people will recognise when I play that later for you, with Dennis Ferrer. There's been loads of collaborations, Below G, lots of film projects. I'm also the voice of Teal on the BBC CBeebies children's programme Abney and Teal. For those who have kids, I do stuff like that as well. I've done theatre. I just like to keep creating, and just because the work that you're doing isn't in the mainstream, it doesn't mean that you're not always working. So I guess, you have to explore.
Creativity sometimes kills the mainstream, sometimes kills the creativity.
The mainstream can definitely challenge people's ability to create freely what they want to create, and can sometimes act like, you know, the gatekeeper for like real talent and real music. And there's a lot of great music that doesn't get to reach the masses because of a lot of different reasons, and you know, only a small number of people tend to get that constant support and that constant, you know, coverage, you know, not just from the mainstream, but from the PR agencies. You need the support across the board as an artist. You need support from your agent. You need to be getting support to go and tour the world and come to festivals, you know, big or small and wonderfully intimate like this, to just keep evolving your craft. And a lot of artists don't get that support across the board. So yeah, creativity is very, very, very hard to achieve when you don't have that maximum support, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep striving.
And with all the experience you've had, you've actually, and being entrepreneurial, you've set up your own record label now. But I've noticed as well, pretty much like Rocky before, who is more starting out now. Where is Rocky? He's out there in the audience. She started as a busker, and so did you. And I noticed that you've been championing busking lately.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have to. I used to busk on the streets of South London and East London. With my guitar. I used to have a kick drum, and I used to have a tambourine. And when I put the tambourine down, I could play the bass and somehow sing songs. So I had my own little one-woman band set, and I had my own little table outside Greenwich Market, and sometimes all the other sort of traditional buskers that were sort of strumming the songs that they felt should be strummed, you know, for all the tourists going past the Cutty Sark would kind of intimidate me. I was 15 or 16 years old when I was busking. And sometimes they'd walk past me and try and put me off, or turn their amplifiers up when I didn't have an amplifier because I could sing a cappella. And you know, maybe they'd walk away with like a tenner, and they'd come back 20 minutes later thinking I'd be disgruntled. And at one point, I remember I made like 80 quid. And they weren't happy about that. So there was a bit of a sort of war of the buskers kind of going on. But I've really, really like earned my craft, and continue to feel like there's always much more that you can learn, and there's enough space for all of us to do this, and that those people in Greenwich deserve to have a selection of buskers to choose from.
So keep it up with the buskers. But
thank you.
I saw a term that you used in an interview where you talked about genre bending, and I loved it.
Oh, yes.
And I
Definitely
loved how
bender.
you kind of describe that you mix all genres together. And now that you are releasing yourself, you have your own record label, you've gone back to your roots a little bit. And I was listening to the song from Ancient Futures, Coming Home, and the lyrics say, "Where I belong."
Yes.
And as I'm an immigrant in this country, I relate to this a little bit, that your roots are always where you kind of come from. Tell us a little bit about the new EP.
Yeah, so I guess Ancient Futures was just a really nice opportunity for me to put what I just love about music. I've always felt that I've expressed myself quite authentically through my music, and when the Noisettes were making our first EPs and records, people would sort of try to sort of put us in the box, which was impossible to put in, because I really feel that we created our own genre. You know, Dan and I would come from backgrounds where our parents just had the most amazing, you know, spectrum in their record collections, which they passed down to us. And actually a lot of the music that the Noisettes made and will continue to make, such as jazz, blues, rock and roll, you know, dance, you know, funk, house-inspired stuff. You can find a lot of the spine and the roots of that music are in Africa, and so there's always been my, you know, roots of the heritage in the music that I've done. But I just think, you know, sometimes mainstream media tries to claim and attribute one style of music for an artist that looks a certain way. So I had journalists saying, "Oh, you know, what's it like making white man's music and stuff?" And I was just like, wow, I didn't know that, like, you know, this guitar riff belonged to a person of a certain colour. And then, you know, the more musicians I met and the more, we toured with people like, the Vaccines and Yesayer. I worked with Paul McCartney at one point, and he was telling me that, a lot of the incredible blues and African blues-inspired musicians in the 60s in London and 70s were getting, master classes from people like Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who is of African-American, and obviously that music, which we now assume to belong to one race of people, you can find its roots in Africa. And what makes the music so amazing is that people have interpreted it in their own way. So why can't a person of African origin be allowed to play that music? Since when is a certain music owned, by one person? So I think it's really important for me to make music that reflects me authentically, and there's a bit of Africa in everything that I do, the way that I dress, the way that I express my hair and the flamboyance and get excited about outfits. My grandmother used to be the village seamstress in Malawi, so when I lived with her when I was in Malawi for a year before she passed away, I got to just see all that creativity, and I applied it to my youth in South London. So I just had the notion that you couldn't just copy what somebody else did. You had to bring your authenticity, bring your story, bring your past to it, but also put that work that you make, whether it's music or an outfit, into a new place, into a new space. And I guess all that genre bending is a really nice character trait, which I can now embrace and not feel that I have to be always explaining or always justifying, because it's a blessing, even if a lot of people didn't understand it in the mainstream and still don't make me feel that I fit in. I can kind of fit in anywhere because of that. So, and actually I make and I make music for everybody. Like I make, I don't say, right, this music that I'm making is for a person that's this height and that shape, and like music is such a unifying force. And I feel like our job as artists is we see the wall. This is what we do. We break it down, and then what happens is there's like this army of like orderly kind of genre mainstream. Oh, let's build it back up again. Amazing artists come around. Be it your Bowies or your Grace Joneses or your Bob Marleys or your Thomas Mafumos or your so many amazing artists, and then they do their best to make sure that the world is a more connected place because of music, and we just have to keep on doing that until these other mainly blokes, sorry, I hate to say it, get tired, and then just let us all just get on with it and just amalgamate and, just ancient futures. I guess that was the inspiration. Just bringing all that together.
And Shingai, on a road to a revolution, are you gonna be part of the revolution tonight? Come on board.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Take it away, Shingai.
Yeah, so absolutely, man. These are revolutionary times, and I'm not a massive fan of like speaking on the stage in general, but I think that's stimulating me and makes me want to get closer to you guys, and let's create an experience that we can all remember. If you feel like getting up and dancing and the music moves you so, then just feel free and just do so. So. Introducing, please give it up for Charisse as well. Incredible. So speaking of like some of the housey, electronic stuff that I've done to inspire people to dance, we're gonna start with a song. And if you recognize it, please join in. All right, guys. Yes, Primadonna. Take it away. That basically means when Charisse does that, we're going to rewind the track and give you the chance to take the floor. I'm not going to lie, I can pretend to be like, let's all sit down and hold hands and whatever. Let's just go for it. Let's go for it now. Let's go for it now. Just an oddity. That track is still giving me so much feels. I actually love it. So, welcome to Ancient Futures, right? Welcome to Ancient Futures. Sounds like some kind of crazy advert for an apocalyptic film. But it doesn't have to be that way. So the song I'm going to play for you now is called Zimtron. So it's like a little mashup on words that I've done where it's just inspired by this cosmic Zimbabwean mbira riffs. And mbira is a fun piano. And my uncle, Thomas Mfumo, is a legendary musician. I don't know if anybody saw the incredible film Cook-Off tonight. Did you see the Cook-Off? Oh, you saw my little cameo! Big up the Cook-Off crew. That was a film made in Zimbabwe, and it has amazing music like this in it. So yeah, Tendai, Thomas Brickhill, who actually produced the music video for a song I'm going to play for you later. So yeah, let's take it to Zim, but it's also in the future. So just like, yeah, cosmic, ancient futures, but pumping riff. Welcome to the Zimtron. I'm feeling lucky, rolling like a train, zooming through the night sky like a shooting star. I'm so glad you came. It's all so beautiful. Hey, it will never be the same. Now we're together for the better, changing up the game. Oh, oh, that's what I see. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Gorai, gorai, yeah. Gorai, gorai, yeah. Gorai, gorai. Keep singing, guys. Thank you. Oh my God, mate, there's like a proper beautiful contingency of like souls and tribes here. I absolutely love it. These are the one. This is what keeps me going. Like literally, this is what gets me up and makes me want to just keep on creating and pushing boundaries and just going, because you guys deserve. We all deserve art that takes us forward into a better place. So yeah, speaking of the future and these revolutionary transitional times, I think it's right to introduce the next song. It's called Revolutions. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm easy to remember. I'm hard to. I wanna get a rewind. She's such a diva. She can't do the song unless there's lots of dramatic smoke. Now we're talking. Let's get into the groove. It's a bit of a little slow jam. So if there's someone you've had your eyes on this evening, now's the time to gently maybe place your hands around their waist and just a little wine and tea. This song is called Revolutions. Enjoy. Take it away, Cherise. Thank you, darling. I'm easy to remember, I'm hard to forget, and there's nothing they can do, nothing they can do. I went to the river, searching for deliverance from what I was going through, but I just couldn't do it. I've been there before, crying on the floor, till I realized I had the power. Guys, we have a very naughty speaker that wants to be in the band, but I have to cut him off, please. Cut the speaker, please. Thank you very much. Who wants another rewind? Because that first verse is so delectable. So good, you gotta hear it again. Now, can I get a little bit of vocals in here, please, guys? I very much give it up for the sound, guys. Got the coolest sunglasses. Like, any man that wears sunglasses in a festival rave at night definitely has my backing. Andy, right? Thank you. So, let's go on again. Rewind, come again. This one goes out to you, Andy, and everyone at Primadonna. Tiny bit more vocals would be amazing. Let's start a little love revolution. Let's all look at these guys there. Ooh. Love is in the air. Okay, rewind, come again. Let's do it. Hey. Yeah. I'm easy to remember, I'm hard to forget, and there's nothing they searching for deliverance from what I was going through, but I just couldn't do it. I've been here before, crying on the floor, till I realized I had the power, pretty like a flower in this concrete jungle. Now the world is mine, it's a fine wine, pour it out and let it overflow. Not afraid to let my feelings show. I'm stepping into the light now, stepping into the light, and let's get a real personal, stepping into the light now, stepping into the light, and let's get a real personal, let's get real, real, real. Time for a revolution. Time for a revolution. Time for a revolution. Hey. Maybe I finally discovered we're on the radio, where everywhere you go, and there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. We're tearing down the doors. There is so much more to life. Don't stress your time away. Gotta rise up and just be brave. And step out into the light now. Step out into the light now. Let's get a real personal. A real personal. Step out into the light now. Step out into the light. Let's get a real personal. Let's get real, real, real. Time for a revolution. Don't you think it's time for a revolution? Give it up, give it up. Time for a revolution. Hey! Come on, guys. Maybe it's time we rediscovered easy now. I can see the future clearly now. Now's the time is now. Easy now, children of the future, hear me out. Now's the time to make a sound. Easy now, I can see the future clearly now. Now's the time, and now the time is now. So take it easy now, children of the future, hear me out. Now's the time to make a sound. Step out into the light now. Step out into the light. Let's get a real personal, a real personal. Time for a revolution. Thank you. Yeah, so Anna was talking about the song Coming Home, which is also inspired by this ancient, like, trance-like sounding Mbira music. And so the next song I'm going to play for you is called Coming Home. So yeah, enjoy, 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 enjoy. You guys enjoying the song? Woo! Yes! Hey! Empty sky, open road, heaven stumbling down, yeah. Hey. Here I am, there you are, waiting to take my hand. Hold me close, I'll be there, take away all of your fears, yeah. Been so long since I knew loving the way it should feel. Cause I know and 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 I know, yeah. Cause I know in my heart and I know in my soul you're the one that I need. Yes, I know. 1, 2. It's the rhythm of you, rhythm of me, rhythm of everything. Beautiful. It's the rhythm of us, rhythm of love, rhythm of everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think we got time for one more. Okay, that sounds very, very positive. That's the kind of noise I like to hear. Ladies, how you doing? This is so blessed, man. Like, Jane, you've done an amazing, and team. Yeah, Jane and team, you've done an amazing thing. Keep on growing this thing, because it's not about how many people, it's about how much energy we all create when we get together, right? It's like, yeah, that's what's important. So this one's called Champion Style. Can we just, Andy, can we just try and like make everything, I know it's a bit of another request. I'm not asking for any more dramatic smoke, although I do love the smoke machine, but I think we can just have it a little bit louder. Do you think it's possible? Just for the last tune. Like, I don't mind if the ceiling is shaking. Hey. All right, yeah, let's do it. I don't follow your philosophy. I know I'll be back to style. Take a pinch of my audacity. Take a walk along the wild side. Oh, dance around the room. Dance around the room. I have you dancing around the room. Dancing around the room. I don't follow your philosophy. I know I'll be back to style. Take a pinch of my audacity. Take a walk along the wild side. Oh, dancing around the room. Do you feel me? Dancing around the room. Champion style. I got that champion style in me. Champion style. I got that champion style in me. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. It's the beauty inside of me. Tell them we don't stop. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. It's the beauty inside of me. Ta-da-da. Shaka-da-da. Ta-da-da. Shaka-da-da. Hey, hey. Ta-da-da. Ta-da-da. Hey, hey. I guess it must be serendipity. Traveling through space and time. Ooh, hey, just up into your audacity. Yeah. Take a walk along the wild side. Oh, oh. Ta-da-da. Shaka-da-da. Ta-da-da. Hey. Shaka-da-da. Hey, hey. Ta-da-da. Shaka-da-da. Ta-da-da. Shaka-da-da. Hey, hey. Champion style. I've got the champion style in me. Champion style. I've got the champion style in me. Sharice, tell them we don't stop. Oh no. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. It's the beauty inside of me. Let me hear you. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. Tell them we don't stop. Oh no. It's the beauty inside of me. I got that got champion style in me. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Give it up for Cherise on Amazing Biggies. Hey, babe. Yeah, because, you know, we extra like that. We got to give y'all a bow. Like, what? Thank you so much. DJ Cherise, she's amazing. You can find her online. Thank you to Jane, thank you to Anna, thank you to Andy with the sunglasses on at night. Feeling you, bro. Thank you for everyone who helped. Thank you, Team Shingai. Ancient Futures is out now, and yeah, mate, I'm like feeling so blessed right now. Let's party. Thank you.